We are live, NBA rundown time. The channel's nuked the house. Don't even know why I bothered putting the headphones in, but thank you everyone for joining us. I'm going to talk a little bit while I tweet this out. If you guys want to help me out, go ahead and tweet out the link as well. Let's get some people in here. Let's have some fun. As of course, the nuke the house continues to be the place to be. As if you're interested in winning pregame, live, in-game, we got it all here at Nuke the House. So thank you everybody for joining us. We had a nice day off yesterday. I enjoyed it, right? I mean this season can be a grind, and looking at today, it's not that much better. I looked the top 5 favorites. If you were to parlay the top 5 favorites, it's minus 200 for a 5-teamer. That's how ridiculous some of these lines are. But that being said, it is what it is, and we don't write the schedule, we don't make the rules. All we do is bet it to try and win. There, I got it tweeted out. What's up, Clyde? Good to see you, buddy. And we're gonna dive right into the schedule. I don't really have much of a review from this weekend. I went 2-1 on Sunday. The Heat let me down, and a lot of people are on the Heat today, and I'm wondering if that's affecting my ability to see this correctly. So. Yeah, thank you, Clyde. The Detroit Pistons are plus 15. They're in Philadelphia. They're taking on the 76ers. My projections have this as a 12-point win, but am I interested in taking the Philadelphia 76ers? The Detroit Pistons? I guess so. It's such a big line. Hold on, let me pull up some of these other stats on this game that I had gone through here. 15 points is so tough. It just feels like on a lot of these games with these huge spreads, it comes down to garbage time or not. Like, for example, I bet Boston against the Kings the other night, and they were like crushing, and they took all their starters out with like 6 minutes to go, and the Kings made the comeback. Boston still got the win, so I guess to the coach it didn't matter. But in a game that I felt like we were on the right side and we should have covered, it didn't take place. Dang, look at Philadelphia, man, coming into this game on a 5-game winning streak. You gotta like that. So Philadelphia's won 5 in a row. The Pistons have lost 4 in a row, right? So two teams headed in absolutely different directions. I also need to pull up this injury report. Of course, when we're dealing with Philadelphia, we are mainly looking at Joel Embiid, but of course Tyrese Maxey, Robert Covington, these other players we're looking for. And it appears that 4 of their 5 starters are on the injury report when I've recently refreshed it right now. For that reason, I want to stay away. On the Detroit side, there'll be no Fontecchio, but Cade Cunningham is a game-time decision as well. So, see, we have a lot of injury news on this one, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. If you were to play it, I would say take the points, because I always say take the points, but I think the better thing to do is just simply not to play it. The Dallas Mavericks are minus 13. They're in Charlotte. They're taking on the Hornets. The total is 223. Another absolutely BS game when it comes to handicapping, because you have one team that's really good. They could, potentially be in the NBA Finals. Another team that sucks, and half these players are going to be struggling to start next year that are starting for the Charlotte Hornets. But that's the way that things go. For Dallas, it's Maxi Kleber on the injury report. That's it. We should have the full starting lineup, meaning that they are favored by 13. When I'm looking at this game, some trends between these two teams, I'll pull that up right now. Dallas 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games. Total's gone under in 9 of Dallas' last 11 games. Charlotte 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. Wow, so both teams doing well against the spread. Let me pull that up. Who's Charlotte covering against? How is Charlotte covering? They're terrible. They must be catching hella points in all these games. All right, so Charlotte, they covered as 7.5-point dogs, only losing by 3 to the Thunder. They covered as 12.5-point dogs, beating the Magic straight up. That was a Sunday. They didn't cover against Portland when they were favored. They covered against Boston because they were catching 18, and they covered against Clippers because they're catching 14. So, okay, I guess Charlotte's not getting blown it out as a home underdog. Excuse me, guys. I think it's rough. 18-14 is a home underdog. 17-5, however, Dallas is a home favorite, and Dallas did cover the one time these two teams matched up earlier this season. So, another game that I don't really want to spend a lot of time on. This third one I don't really want to spend a lot of time on, but of all the favorites, I probably like this one the best. Not because I like the Indiana Pacers, but because I think that the Toronto Raptors is currently constituted. Although, to be fair, they got some more of their players back in. Okay, so this isn't as much as of a layup as we thought with some of these guys coming back in. Still, not a great lineup for the Toronto Raptors. Indiana, no injuries. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I slept well. Probably because these games are freaking boring. Indiana Pacers, yeah, minus 13. Total's 239.5. Let's see what I projected this one as. My projections have this game at 14 points for the Pacers, so not a lot there. Have this game going under, but who wants to bet a Pacers under, right? Let's look at some other things going into this game. This line opened at 11, moved all the way to 13, and why not? This was 6.5 at some point. When was the 6.5? That guy's messing up. Okay. Pacers 21-18 on the road against the spread. Raptors a pitiful 14-26 at home, and only 5-17 as a home underdog. Pacers 6-7 as a road favorite. Give me the Indiana Pacers here. Boy, I might need a nap. What is wrong with me today? Indiana Pacers. Yeah, screw this game. All right, this is the TNT game that you're talking about, right, Clyde? Is TNT? Is this Celtics Bucks is on TNT, right? Milwaukee Bucks are -2. Let's dive into this one. All right, it seems at least to be somewhat interesting. I don't know. You know me. I'm not a big believer in the Bucks. They completely ruined their whole everything by trading away Jrue Holiday for Dame Lillard. So now they're a good team. They're no longer the championship contender. All right, the Boston Celtics are a 1-point favorite, and I have them winning by 1. However, this line's moved, and the Bucks are now a 2-point favorite. Is there some injury news? Probably Porzingis, right? Yeah, Porzingis and Horford are out. Luke Cornett, not Jim Cornette, who's better than Luke Cornett, starting at center there. Dame, Middleton, and Giannis, all game-time decisions. Wow, that'd be crazy if they sat them. Obviously, this line expects them to play. The Celtics have nothing to play for but pride. The Bucks are still fighting for that second position in the East, so you would think that we get a good effort from the Bucks, but looking at that injury report, I'm not sure. Okay, this line just went off the board again, and it came back up at the same exact number. All right, I don't know, man. You know me. I don't believe in this current iteration of the Bucks. I mean, they've been absolutely terrible. I mean, they've been losing like the Wizards, the Raptors. Let me pull up their recent results. Milwaukee's coming into this game on a 4-game losing streak to Wizards, Grizzlies, Toronto, and then the Knicks. They're not playing well. Boston, even though they're not even trying right now, comes in on a 5-game winning streak, and they covered in 3 of those 5. How would I approach this game? I'd probably take the home team. I'm not going to bet it, though, most likely. I'll probably take the home team here. I don't know. I think this is a tough game. I'm not going to get involved with the injury news. Assuming those 3 play, give me the Bucks, but I don't love it. I mean, could you see the Bucks losing? Yeah. Could I see Jrue Holiday completely shutting down Dame Lillard and making them realize like how stupid that trade was? Yeah. Could I see Giannis completely beasting because there's no bigs out there? Yeah. So I lean the Bucks, but I don't love it. Total's 227.5. What did I project this at? I have it at 229. And this dropped. Actually, I projected to the original number. Don't you love that, Clyde? Now he's got an edge because the number dropped. Give me the Bucks and the over there. The Miami Heat. Interesting spot here. Miami Heat are -4. They're in Atlanta taking on the Hawks. Everybody's on the Heat here. There's 2 games with road favorites that everybody's on, and it's the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know how I feel about that, man. I mean, Miami comes in. They've lost their last 2 games. They've lost both games on the road trip. Wait, no, that's Atlanta who's lost 2 games on the road. So they're back home, but it's only 2 games, so that doesn't matter. Miami's actually only lost 1 game. They actually did go into Houston and win. Then they failed to get it done against the Pacers, losing by 2, but they were +2.5, so they covered. Now they're -4 on the road, but they are 23-14 against the spread on the road and 7-5 against the spread on the road as a road favorite. Atlanta's 4-8 as a home underdog. However, we have to remember Atlanta was so bad at the beginning of the year that their season-long numbers against the spread are absolutely terrible. So that's something to keep in mind. Miami's covered 2 of the 3 times that they played this season. This will be their last time. When was the most recent one? Let me see. The most recent time they played, I'm scrolling down right now. What, has it been a while, huh? It was January 19th, and the Hawks won in Miami by 1 point as 7-point dogs. So Duncan Robinson's out, and it looks like we'll have relatively healthy. I don't care about Sadiq Bey for the Hawks here. Everyone likes Miami. Is Jalen Johnson in? Let me just make sure Jalen Johnson's in. Yeah, Jalen Johnson's playing. I kind of like the Hawks to cover the 4 points here. Not to mention, if you bet it now, same deal. All the starters are on the injury report except for Hero and Butler. So potential for Bam, Kevin Love to sit. We know how much Kevin Love means to that team. Terry Rozier, I don't expect him to play. I see him on this injury report, but he is not doing well right now. I like the Hawks plus the 4 in that one. The other game that everyone's on is the New York Knicks -5 against the Chicago Bulls. I think that people are kind of underestimating the Bulls here, and I understand why, right? So the Knicks are a true contender to win the East. The Bulls are going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. However, they are at home, and this team has played well. My numbers actually like the Bulls to cover this 5-point spread here. The Bulls, we faded them against Orlando, but we like that matchup, the way that Orlando matches up. Although New York is kind of the same matchup with the size to exploit the Bulls. New York Knicks, most recent game, we talked about it earlier. They defeated Milwaukee. However, they lost in Chicago on April 5th. Today's April 9th, so 4 days ago. Chicago got an 8-point win at home where they were favored. So the quote-unquote revenge angle is live here. 21-18 on the road for the New York Knicks, 18-21 at home for the Bulls, 9-8 as a home underdog, however, and the Knicks are 10-6 as a road favorite. Also, the Knicks do have OG Anunoby in tonight, which is why everybody loves him. When OG plays, these teams also go under a lot, but the total reflects that at 2 and 12.5. Give me the Bulls plus 5 and the under when these two teams take the court. I'm going against every other show you'll hear today, taking the Bucks, because the Bulls, everybody loves the New York Knicks, and maybe I'll look stupid because we all know they're the way better team. I just think 5 points is a little bit too much. And the numbers agree. I have New York by 4. Washington Wizards plus 17.5. Hey, I'll take 17.5. I'm not laying that. That's for sure. I think one of the reasons is they don't have a center. No Bagley, no Holmes, no Kuzma. So that's going to be rough there against one of the biggest teams in the league. But however, is Minnesota going to keep their foot on the gas and win by 17? I doubt it. I'm pretty sure I projected this. Yeah, I've projected this as a 16-point win. So that's going to tell you to take the 17.5. Anything else we need to look at in this one? I don't know. I'll tell you, of all the big underdogs, I kind of like this one the best. I think this game goes over. I think you can take a lot of prior props for the Timberwolves as well. Washington comes in. They've lost their last 4 games. However, they did cover as 13-point dogs against the Lakers. Then they lost to 2 crappy teams, but now they're going against terrible teams again, catching a bunch of points. The Timberwolves just covered -2 in Los Angeles. Did I watch that? I should have watched that. I would have enjoyed that. Let's go. Kill those Lakers. They lost in Phoenix right before that, so now they're back home after that quick little 2-game road trip. Washington's so much better as a road. 21-15 as a road underdog. But they're not very good when they're catching a shitload of points. Plus 15.5 to plus 18.5, they're 1-3. Minnesota's pretty good when they're laying this much. Small sample size. Minus 15.5 to minus 18.5 is 2-1 here. And Minnesota covered the one time they played earlier. Regardless, I think 17.5 is too much. If I get involved in this game, I will play the Minnesota Timberwolves. 2 bad teams take the floor when the San Antonio Spurs take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Those are the 2 bad teams that I both like to play. However, no one's playing for Memphis. Jaren Jackson is out. which means San Antonio are past. San Antonio 5-2 against the spread as a favorite this year. That's pretty good. Only been favored 7 times. When they lay between 3 and 6, although that's the case. They're 3-1 and they're 1-0. They've been favored on the road 1 time this season, and they won the game. I should look that up. I'll bet you it's against like the Wizards or something. Let me see. I'm just gonna scroll through. Let me see when they're a road favorite. So I need an at and a minus. This could be a while, huh? I shouldn't do this on the air because it's gonna be terrible radio. Here, no, that was at home. I need a minus on the road. They're rarely ever favored. Okay, here it was. On the 10th of January, they were 3-point favorites, and they won by 22 in Detroit. Kind of a similar feel here. I got Wemby on one side, and my projections for Memphis are overvalued because everybody's sitting. I like the Spurs, but I'm not going to let... I might. Okay, I like the Spurs here. I think I also did this game projected to go over. Nope, I got it at 212. All right, there you have it. I kind of like the favorite there. All right, the Orlando Magic are -3.5 in Houston taking on the Rockets. This is another popular one, as Houston had the proverbial, R.J. Bell, right? Great handicap. I can't believe he has more than me. But, he talks about the Dream Crusher, and that could have been the case here for the Houston Rockets here. Orlando's won 4 of their last 5. They're 3rd seed in the East right now. Franz Wagner might not play tonight. He's actually a really big part of this team. Against Houston, they might be able to overcome it, but they got to hope that he gets healthy. I also think that with Wagner not playing, this line could be wrong. Yeah. To me, it's Magic or pass. This is the Houston Rockets' last home game of the season. The total is 215.5, only a 3.5 point line. I have this game projected as an even game, but I don't think that really captures how poor Houston's been since they've been eliminated by the Golden State Warriors. The Rockets have, after that huge winning streak that Tyler loved them, they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They won 11 games in a row. Now they've lost their last 5. We'll continue to bet the streaks. I like the Orlando Magic -3.5. The Sacramento Kings are +5 in Oklahoma taking on the Thunder. Obviously, the Thunder are a way better team. I mean, they show you how to rebuild the team right. We show you how to rebuild the team by trading for Domantas Sabonis and just being mediocre. However, Jalen Williams is a game-time decision, and who knows how much the Thunder care about this game. That's what sucks about handicapping this time of year. I mean, like, what other sport do we have to worry about the players not competing? Regardless, Kings have been really good on the road. So I would think, well, Kings are actually taking a little money. This line was 5.5. When the Kings are catching between 4 and 7, they're 6-2. They're 14-8 as a road underdog. However, Oklahoma City, when they're laying between 4 and 7, is 8-4, and they're 19-12 as a home favorite. So Kings 16-11 against the spread. It's an underdog. Thunder 31-26, which seems like it's not that worse, but it's only 5% higher. 60% against the spread on the road for the Kings, 62% for the Thunder. So pretty close everywhere. Kings have also covered 2 of the 3 they played against the Thunder. I'm leaning towards taking the points here, but if you got a motivated Orlando team, I think they would just run away with this game, which is why I'm not getting involved, because I'm not really sure what we're going to get. If Jalen Williams plays, I would assume that's a sign that they're going to take this seriously. If he sits, maybe more interest in the Sacramento Kings. Another joke of a line here is the Denver Nuggets are -14.5 in Utah taking on the Jazz. If you sort just since the All-Star break, the Jazz are the worst team in the league, so this line makes sense. Also, I wonder if there's really, I don't have any historical significance to back this up, but the fact that they both play in altitude, I wonder if that lessens the home court advantage just as much here. But Utah hasn't been trying at all. Let me pull up some of their recent results to illustrate the point. Let's see. So Utah has lost how many games in a row? Bro, the last time they won was on March 15th. They haven't even won since St. Patrick's Day. So the Utah Jazz have not won a game since that tournament started. I think the last time they won, I think that's the first day of the tournament. They've only covered 3 times in that span. Yeah, I mean, these numbers make sense. I mean, is Denver even going to try? But does it even matter? I mean, the Jazz are obviously trying to lose on purpose. Denver just won by 32 against Atlanta, so they can blow teams out. They didn't cover against the Spurs. I was on the Spurs there. They won by 29 against Cleveland. They won by 25 against Memphis. You can't take Utah. I think of all the big favorites, I'd think Denver's the best. However, 4 of their 5 starters on the injury report, maybe they punt this one too. Because Murray, KCP, Porter, and Jokic all on the injury report. Aaron Gordon's out. Denver or pass? I'm going to pass. Los Angeles Clippers are now plus 8.5. This has to be injury moves. Who? It's because Harden's on the report now. PJ Tucker is already in the starting lineup with Kawhi Leonard out. And this team, the Clippers thought they had a lot of depth. That hasn't been the case. Without Kawhi Leonard, this is not a good team. We've talked before. I think it's a mistake to re-sign Paul George. I think they're going to do that. If I lay this with Phoenix, though, I'd want Nurkic in there. However, I think this is too many points. Of course, my projections do it, but I haven't accurately noted for how bad the Clippers have been without Mr. Kawhi Leonard here. So I like the plus 8.5 here. On the total of 227, what do I have this at? I didn't finish putting them in. Good for me. Let me see what I put this in at. All right, I have the Clippers at 110.4. It's going to tell me to take the Clippers. I already know that. I mean, yeah, I have the Suns by 6, and I have this right on the number. All right, the next game is the Golden State Warriors. 116.1 is what I projected in the mat. Let's do. I projected to beat the Lakers. I hope so. This is one of the most exciting games of the night. Wow, my number's like the Warriors. That's surprising here. The Lakers always beat the Warriors. I don't like those projections at all. To me, this is the Lakers or pass. You have a situation where you have one team that has 2 like elite players and one team that doesn't. I mean, Steph's doing a great job carrying this ragtag team, but Klay Thompson, like, yeah, he can get hot, and if he does, I could lose this bet. However, they're just simply not good enough, and Steph's running mates aren't good, and you can see that he's starting to slow down a little bit. We still get brilliant performances from him, but you just can't count on him to carry the load against a squad like the Los Angeles Lakers that's been playing so well lately. We talked about Utah, if you sort by recent, being the worst team in the league. If you sort by recency, the Lakers are the best team in the league. Going off my head, I think they've won 9 of their last 10. Let me confirm that. No, they've won, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of their last 11. So it's 9 of their last 10 going into the Minnesota game. Then they did lose on Saturday night to the Timberwolves by 10 points. When these two teams have faced off earlier this year, Golden State's covered 2 of the 3. Interesting. I wonder how that is on the money line, though. So let me see the most recent time they played. I'll bet you Lakers won and Golden State covered. The most recent, let's try and get a recent game here because that earlier team, yeah. So March 16th, right around St. Patrick's Day, that seems what we're going back to. Okay, Golden State did win in LA. My guess is if you click on that game, though, I'll bet you they had some big players sitting there, LeBron or AD here. Now with everybody all systems go, I hate to say it, but I like the Los Angeles Lakers here. My projections like the Warriors, but I don't trust them here. I don't think I've accurately included how much the Lakers have improved. And this team did make the Western Conference Finals last year. They do have the experience, and we all know they're going to get every single call. So I like the Lakers -2 in that matchup. All right, we're moving along here. That's what happens when we do these solo shows. But we appreciate you guys for joining us. Guys, give me that thumbs up. Make sure you're checking out Nuke the House. Subscribe to the channel. Best Patreon in the game. New Orleans Pelicans are -13. They're in Portland taking on the Blazers. Now I'm awake now that the show's almost over. This is 18.5. What's the line now? Why did it move? Why did that line move? Maybe they just put that wrong. I don't see anyone that... Because we already knew Brandon Ingram's going to be out. Jeremy Grant's going to sit. I already know what Tyler would love in this game. He's going to love the Pelicans. They seem to crush terrible teams. So Pelicans laying double digits is a pretty good bet, right? That we talk about teams being bullies, and they seem to be one of them. Pelicans turned around a 4-game losing streak with an 8-point outright win as 6-point dogs against the Phoenix Suns, and that was on Saturday night. So they're going to look to keep that winning streak going. The Blazers, of course, are coming off a 17-point loss when they were catching 16.5 to Boston. This Blazer season is absolutely done. The Blazers are one of the reasons why tanking sucks. I wish that they had their full team. I wish they were actually trying to develop Scoot properly. But because the draft pick is more important than the player they drafted last year, developing him, we're going to get a shitty output here. Give me the Pelicans minus 13. So to go back through the card, the teams that I like here are Pacers minus 13, Bucks minus 2.5, Hawks plus 4, Bulls plus 5, Wizards plus 17.5, Spurs minus 5, Magic minus 3.5, Thunder, I don't know. Sorry, I should have left that one out. Nuggets minus 14.5, but wait for the news. Clippers plus 8.5, Lakers minus 2, Pelicans minus 13. So there you have it for me. When I talk to Tyler, we'll get the official plays up on the sheet. Be back tomorrow, probably a little later, because I have a physical therapy appointment at noon. And this is 1 o'clock my time, so I don't know if I'll be back in time. But I've said it before, the channel's Nuke the House. Make sure you get involved. Thank you for joining me. Guys, I need more than Clyde chatting next time. Clyde, I appreciate your support, man. You really don't know how much it means to me, because otherwise I would just feel like I'm talking to myself, which is what I do all day. I mean, you should listen, see what my cats think about it. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Nuke the House.